10 poorest countries in Africa in 2023. In today's video, I will be showing you the 10 poorest countries in Africa. Have you ever wondered why so many African countries are poor? Have you ever wondered which is the poorest country in Africa? Well, after careful analysis and the standard of living, I present the 10 poorest countries in Africa. Hello there, welcome. I am James, your host, and you are watching Africa Reloaded. Africa is home to some of the world's poorest countries, with many of them facing economic, political, and social challenges that have hindered their development. The continent is home to a large proportion of the world's poorest people, with many living in extreme poverty, lacking access to basic services such as healthcare, education, and sanitation. Despite efforts by governments, international organizations, and NGOs to tackle poverty, many African countries continue to struggle with high levels of poverty and inequality. Before I begin, a like on this video will be very much appreciated because you will be supporting me. I will focus on the 10 poorest countries in Africa, based on their gross domestic product, GDP, per capita. These countries are facing various challenges that are preventing them from achieving economic growth and improving the living standards of their people. The list includes some of the least developed countries in the world, where poverty, malnutrition, disease, and political instability are pervasive. 10. Guinea-Bissau. Guinea-Bissau is a small West African country located on the Atlantic coast, bordered by Senegal and Guinea. The country has a population of around 2 million people, and its economy is primarily based on agriculture, with cashew nuts and rice being the main cash crops. Guinea-Bissau has been affected by political instability and drug trafficking, which has hindered its economic development. The GDP per capita of Guinea-Bissau is around $968, making it one of the poorest countries in the world. Guinea-Bissau witnessed a dictatorship, coups, and yet another civil war after a protracted, bloody conflict to remove its Portuguese masters. A president's 5-year elected term has never been completed in this country. 9. Madagascar. This is a large island nation located off the southeastern coast of Africa. The country has a population of around 29 million people, and its economy is primarily based on agriculture, with vanilla, cloves, and coffee being the main cash crops. However, Madagascar has been affected by political instability and natural disasters, including cyclones and droughts, which has had a negative impact on its economy. The GDP per capita of Madagascar is around $945. Over 2 million people in Madagascar are in danger of imminent starvation due to a prolonged drought. 8. Liberia. Liberia is a small country located on the west coast of Africa, bordered by Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Côte d'Ivoire. The country has a population of around 5 million people, and its economy is primarily based on agriculture, with rubber being the main cash crop. The country also has significant deposits of iron ore, gold, and diamonds. However, Liberia has been affected by years of civil war and political instability, which has hindered its economic development. The GDP per capita of Liberia is around $729. However, an Ebola outbreak in 2014 and the end of international aid initiatives in 2017 have forced the nation to deal with its significant economic issues on its own. 7. Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, is the second largest country in Africa, located in Central Africa. The country has a population of around 100 million people, and its economy is primarily based on mining, with cobalt, copper, and gold being the main minerals. However, the DRC has been affected by years of conflict and political instability, which has hindered its economic development. The country has also been affected by poverty, malnutrition, and disease, which has had a negative impact on the well-being of its population. The GDP per capita of the DRC is around $632, making it one of the poorest countries in the world. 6. Niger. This is a landlocked country located in West Africa, bordered by Libya, Chad, Nigeria, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Mali. The country has a population of around 23 million people, and its economy is primarily based on agriculture, which accounts for around 40% of its GDP. The country is one of the driest in the world, with most of its land being desert or semi-arid. Niger has been affected by poverty, food insecurity, and conflict, which has hindered its economic development. The GDP per capita of Niger is around $580. Unfortunately, the newly stable nation is surrounded by Boko Haram and the Islamic State soldiers. According to the UN, Niger cannot feed itself even in a good year. 5. Mozambique. Mozambique is a country located on the southeastern coast of Africa, bordered by Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Eswatini. The country has a population of around 30 million people, and its economy is primarily based on agriculture, which accounts for around 27% of its GDP. However, Mozambique is also rich in natural resources, including coal, natural gas, and minerals. Despite its natural resources, Mozambique has been affected by years of civil war and political instability, which has hindered its economic development. The GDP per capita of Mozambique is around $523. 4. Malawi. This is a small, landlocked country in southeastern Africa, bordered by Tanzania, Zambia, and Mozambique. The country has a population of around 19 million people, and its economy is primarily based on agriculture, which accounts for around 80% of its exports. Tobacco is the main cash crop, but the country also produces tea, cotton, and sugar. However, Malawi has been affected by periodic droughts and flooding, which has had a negative impact on its economy. The GDP per capita of Malawi is around $397, making it one of the poorest countries in the world. More than 70% of Malawians make less than the $1.90 per day set by the UN as the poverty line. The majority of Malawi's workforce is employed in agriculture, which is hampered by increasingly frequent floods and droughts. This fact only serves to exacerbate the situation. 3. Central African Republic. The Central African Republic is a landlocked country located in the heart of Africa. The country has been affected by political instability, violence, and conflict for many years, which has had a negative impact on its economy. The country is rich in natural resources, including gold and diamonds, but the conflict has made it difficult to fully exploit them. Agriculture is the mainstay of the economy, with most people engaged in subsistence farming. The GDP per capita of CAR is around $352, making it one of the poorest countries in the world. 2. South Sudan. South Sudan is the youngest country in Africa, having gained independence from Sudan in 2011. However, the country has been affected by years of conflict and violence, which has had a severe impact on its economy. The country's GDP per capita of around $307 is one of the lowest in the world, and poverty is widespread. South Sudan is rich in natural resources, including oil, but the conflict has made it difficult to fully exploit them. The majority of the citizens live in the slums. 1. Burundi. Burundi is a small, landlocked country in East Africa, bordered by Rwanda, Tanzania, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The country has a population of around 12 million people, and its economy is heavily dependent on agriculture, which accounts for around 90% of its exports. However, Burundi has been affected by political instability and civil conflict, which has hindered its economic development. The country's GDP per capita of around $261 is one of the lowest in the world, and poverty is widespread. Many Africans continue to live in poverty as the economic crisis gets worse. I appreciate you watching to the end. Please help us out by giving this video a thumbs up. For more excellent material, leave comments and become a subscriber to Africa Reloaded. To receive notifications of our new video, don't forget to switch on your notification icon.